Ready?
Okay, let's all stand for a moment's silent prayer. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will now call the regularly scheduled July 7th, 2015 meeting of the Dogwich County Commission to order. We've got minutes from several different meetings. Should we go through these one by one, or can we dispose of them all at once?
Do them all one time. They're all been read.
All right. Has everybody had opportunity to read?
I read.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I have a motion.
All right. We have a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meetings, regular and special meetings. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I meant to say aye, I just didn't get out with it. Okay. Public comments. Do we have the sheet there? Okay. The only two who have chosen to possibly speak, Mariana. Okay. Tammy?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay.
You're on.
A few months ago, this commission appointed Mr. Travis to form a committee and hold a meeting between the DCAA and DCMS with one of the goals to being to establish a mutual aid agreement between the two. It was reported at a commission meeting that this meeting did take place, and the DCA Director Cole Krim, a county employee, was to meet with the appointed DCMS employee and write this mutual aid agreement. It was reported later that the meeting did not take place between the DCMS and the DCAA, but the DCMS had gone ahead and written this document. The Commission has not taken any further action surrounding the mutual aid agreement, and the DCAA Board has not taken any action in open meeting concerning the subject of a DCMS response to emergency calls. A couple of Fridays ago, the DCAA crews were not on station. I don't know if they were out on other emergency calls or were providing taxi service for non-ambulatory patients. A call from Snake Run was received by the 911 center for a laceration or bleeding. We all know that bleeding is one of the top emergencies. Unlike taking Granny to the ER because she just doesn't feel right. DCAA radioed 911 and placed Harrison County EMS on the call, bypassing the closest unit to DCEMS because the mutual aid agreement had not been written by a county employee and approved. While the person was lying there with his or her blood flowing out of their body, confusion reigned because Harrison County knew that DCMS was closer and could get there faster. Plus, they were limited on their units. And they told the 911 center to place the DCMS on the call. An argument ensued, with the DCAA crew telling the 911 center over the radio that because the DCAA and DCMS did not have a mutual aid agreement, the DCEMS could not be placed on the call. This patient was left to lay until Harrison County EMS officers got involved, and 911 sent the DCMS, who was the closest unit and by law is required to be dispatched. This confusion, while a person is laying there bleeding, is not a good thing, and I feel that the person's delay in response was caused because a county employee who did not follow through with the writing of the mutual aid agreement like he was directed. and I'm guessing agreed to do. This full-time county employee has tons of time to plan for the DCAA to be part of the strategic response team, to set the DCAA up as a taxi service to provide transports for out-of-county people, and further to make plans to offer up county-owned property to become a regional training center. Does this commission believe they could direct him to find the time in his busy schedule to either write a mutual aid agreement or even to review and sign the one the DCMS wrote and provided months ago to get this settled? Maybe then confusion will not delay response to a true emergency. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
You have a date on that, and you have a date on that?
The run?
Yeah.
Friday before last. I don't have the exact date. It was radio traffic is what I'm going by.
Does
Would be,
either of the county commissioners have, Ronnie, do you have any public comments?
I talked to Cole Trim the other day, and he showed me a copy of a mutual aid agreement he was wanting to talk to Mike Hamilton about. I don't know where anything came about, I don't know. And he told me, he called Mike one time. Okay, that's all I know. That's all I know about it. I did see the paper, he had a mutual aid agreement, he's going to show Mike.
what happened to the one the DCMS wrote months ago?
I don't know.
We don't know. It's been lost twice.
Well, this is a county employee. We're paying him.
Are you still on the clock?
Well, I'll keep my mouth shut then.
Wow.
Accountability.
Okay. Butch, do you have any?
Well, there's a lot of confusion with this matter, and Mr. Hamilton has advised me that Cole Grimm has tried to get a hold of him maybe one time to do this. And Cole keeps saying he's tried to get a hold of Mike, and Mike won't answer his calls, and it's just a bunch of BS as far as I'm concerned. You know, I think somebody needs to step in and get this settled as soon as possible. This is getting a little bit out of hand as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, we county commissioners, we need to do something to take care of the people in the county before somebody gets hurt, like Tammy said there.
It's my understanding that there were two meetings that were set up, but were canceled. So I don't know. I'm just like everybody sitting right up here. We're going on what somebody's telling us. So anyway.
I did see the form Cole had to me, showed me, I read it every day, and that's all I know. He told me he called Mike and,
Well, I think, if I'm not mistaken, now correct me, county commissioners, if I'm wrong, that what we asked this committee to do was not write a mutual aid agreement, but to explore the possibilities of the mutual aid agreement. And it seemed to be spoken here that it was a mutual aid agreement that we were discussing now, or writing. It was my understanding it was just discussions to pursue, not actually write a mutual aid agreement at this point. So, but that's my understanding. You have it?
but I think it's time we get this thing settled.
Do you have anything else?
No, I'm done.
You got any suggestions how to settle?
No.
Okay. Maybe we need to sit down, three commissioners sit down and discuss this matter and come up with a solution.
That'll be public meeting.
Fine, that's fine. My opinion is this is getting out of hand, way totally out of hand. We're supposed to be here to protect the citizens of Dodge County, which includes everybody here, including me. And if it's true what you said about the run, then it's just crazy, okay? It doesn't even make good sense to wait for an ambulance when you have people here, you know? And it's nothing but a big argument. And I think the commission needs to sit down and this needs to be settled once and for all by the law. Whatever the law says, we need to abide by the law and get it done.
Well, I think, Butch, if you look back over the last couple of years, I think this commission has attempted to do that. And as has been pointed out to us numerous times, one of the parties is a private company and not subject to any rules or restrictions that we would place upon them. And so that's where it seems to have been the hanging. Anyway, are you finished with public comment?
I don't know if I am or not.
Okay. Well, let's come back to you. I'm not going to recognize you. You already said what you want to say. Now, I do have a couple of public comments. I wasn't here at the last meeting, and as I read in the one newspaper in town that reports things accurately as they're said, there was some comments made about the county commission wasting money. And contrary to what a lot of people think, I do listen to criticism. And so I got to thinking, are we possibly wasting money? And I thought, you know, we've got a wealth of free legal expense, a wealth of free accounting expense, and management expense, a wealth of free oil and gas and floodplain experience. So are we wasting money by hiring these people? But then I got to looking back. It seems as though all of this free experience that we've been receiving and has been so freely offered, how many times has it been incorrect? Most of the time it's incorrect. It's someone's taking a narrow view of the law or accounting practices or state law as far as finances go. So my conclusion that I personally came to is that the money we spend on legal advice in-house, the money we spend on hiring accounting and management advice, and the money that we're spending on floodplain advice is money well spent. And I think that we should remember the old saying that when you get free advice, it's a lot of times worth just exactly what you're paying for it. Now, the next thing that I want to, and this really is more, it really affects us more than we're aware of. I have a client that is involved in several different counties. Their business spreads over several different counties. And they told me that sometime back there was a business that was considering this general area for location. And that business, and I won't say what the business is, but I've thought many times that would be an ideal business for Doddridge County. Anyway, the business has decided to locate in an adjoining county. And so during discussion with the principals, my client said, have you ever considered Doddridge County? You know what the response was? We wouldn't consider Doddridge County because there's too much negativity coming out of this county. Now, I ask you this. I mean, not that I have sought it out, but I've been on TV the last month or so several times. Have you heard any negativity about the county coming from me? Have you heard any negativity coming from the majority of the newspapers in the area? Where is the negativity coming from? We know where it's coming from. I ask that you consider that and consider if this is hurting Doddridge County and if we can move forward in the future with all of this negativity. So that's my public comments. You said that you weren't sure?
No,
You don't have any more?
I don't have no more.
Okay. All right. Public comment is over. New business. Pat Heaster, OES report.
Take you to all the locations.
Okay.
Okay. What's that? Everything's pretty much been a pretty calm month. We've had some rainstorms to deal with. The truck is inactive and in service. It's got 587 miles on it. Hadn't moved since last month. We're back into out of brush fire season again, so that's a good situation. We're at 1 inch plus on rain right now, today. Now tomorrow that may change. We're at normal summer pool on the creek, a plus on that. We're up and down daily, so it's kind of hard to gauge. I took an average on that. We've had a couple power outages over the last month, and on the 20th, we had storms with 47 people out of power for about 36 hours. We're getting a lot of grumblings from the volunteers about the response time of on power, and some of the other counties contacted me, wanted me to I wrote a letter. I polled all the departments and wrote a letter, and they concurred with they're getting really slow in their turnout. The 47 people that were out of power was one holla, and there was 41 people. And I think, Mariana, you were out. No, you were out. There were about 4 or 5 other people in the county out, but 36 hours for one holla. And they didn't need a construction crew. And I documented that time because it was our holla, and my generator counts time. But we also had meeting with the National Weather Service. I can't pronounce his name. It's Jim Berninski. I think he's Irish. But I had a sit-down meeting with them, and he actually brought the director of the National Weather Service for the state of West Virginia here, a very nice lady. She's from Lewis County, and we are working on a program to get better weather reporting. They take care of all the NOAA stuff, and everything comes out on the TV and everything like that. They had, she wanted to know if there was anything different. She gave me a couple websites that I'm going to try to do an article coming up and get those websites out that people actually can access on their iPhones and stuff. Some of the software and hardware is not in place yet in this area, but it should be by the 1st of August, and she was very nice about it. But she gave me she's going to mail me some information on that. Also, I met with the state director, DNR, on the pump situation, and I guess they got a couple pumps back on us, Mariana. We had lost for the summer, but they're pumping again. Houston's River is still shut down though. They're not supposed to be pumping anything out of Houston River because of the low water speed. We had 3 transportation accidents. One of them was a farm ATV accident that involved a well tender and his 4-wheeler on the highway into a vehicle. I don't know what happened with it, but that's about it for the county report. So it's been a pretty quiet time. Really good. I mean, you know, that we can get through a major holiday with no problems. So.
Yeah, that was good.
That's it.
Thank you, Pat.
I'm out of here. I've been chasing cows for the last month and I'm about done. I'm down to, I'm going to start shooting.
Do you wish to take questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Last week sometime, I was in a vehicle with someone else and we were leaving the Fairview Diner. As we approached Morgan's Run by the Mark West plant, traffic was at a dead standstill. Both lanes eastbound on Route 50 were at a dead standstill.
That's that tower they moved in?
We were coming around a curve. There was no evidence of any police or anyone directing traffic, okay? The tower, we turned around and I was able to get a picture of this device. It's one of the cryogenic towers. There were, when I counted the tires on the vehicles bringing this in, there were 104 truck tires touching the road surface. But what got me was the fact that the highway was shut down. We don't know for how long, but there was no police. There was no evidence of anyone directing traffic. Speeding, like the speed limit on 50 is 65 miles an hour. Had somebody been behind us and not seen us, I mean, we could have been rear-ended. We could have rear-ended someone else. Plus the fact that emergency services, if an ambulance, fire truck, or anyone else had to be going eastbound, it would have been a real disaster, okay? So far, they have 10 of these towers slated for that site. I don't know how many are there now and what happened with the previous deliveries, but it is putting not only county residents at risk, but anyone else traveling on Route 50. And,
That was
you know,
last Tuesday.
I don't know if someone can talk to the people at the Mark West plant or talk to the people that did delivery or what the rules are, but it's affecting all of us. I mean, our sheriff's department or the state police, emergency personnel should have been contacted prior to this delivery being made so people were aware. And this happened at, I think when we witnessed it, it was slightly after 1 o'clock on a
It was
weekday.
1:45 on last Tuesday afternoon. And when I talked to the Mark West safety man about it, I got an email with the pictures and stuff and I forwarded them to him. And he said he had no control over the transportation people until they get to his site. And I typed back BS, but that was my opinion. The other thing you were dealing with is the state trooper used to be Mick's brother-in-law. Boring. When they moved the rig in up my holla, Clinton Boring, he was in the line of traffic. They shut the road down for 12 hours with no notice to anybody. And when he asked the transportation people about the thing, he said, about a permit, and he said, I don't have a permit. Clinton said, you don't have a permit? He said, no. He said, go ahead and write to the ticket. He said, I'll get it fixed in 2 hours. So, I mean, they're not worried about it. They'll do whatever they want to. So, I already told the safety man and raised cane with him. That's all we can do about it. I mean, I understand your situation until something happens, though. That's the problem. It's going to take that to get it done. Yes, ma'am.
I have a problem with my phone a while back, and the young fellow that came and fixed it had to do some inside and outside, so we were chatting while he was there. And he said, this has been probably a year ago, it's not like right now, but they knew they were cutting into communication line, and they knew this whole section of people were going to be without phone until it got repaired. But they didn't care. He said, well, we've got big equipment going. This is what he was told. We've got big equipment going, and it's cheaper for us to pay your fines.
Well, they don't use this utility. They said it's a waste of time. It leaves 2 or 3 days waiting on it, so I mean. And another, on that same phone incident that you had, one of the problems that it took so long was they was working on, that they cut 2 lines, and they was working on a dead line that had been abandoned years ago, and then finally one of the landowners went down and told them this is the new line. They thought they better help them along a little bit.
I mean, you're talking about power outages. One of the other issues we're having in the county are telephone outages. There are people in the county that have had their phone out intermittently since May. People that live on Broad Run, over on the west, the Route 23 side of Ravens Run, for a phone to be out from, I think this lady here, their phone was out from like May 19th and May 6th.
Intermittent, and then for 19 days, I had absolutely no phone.
And for those of us living in areas where we don't get cell reception, those telephones are our lifelines.
Goes back to the infrastructure problem, lack of there or damage too. They had, you know, it's just amazing what they can get away with, and they'll do it. They don't care. They don't offload. Anybody else?
They got the money to pay the fine, and they just go about their business.
They got deep pockets, they go right ahead.
Deep pocket.
Who sets the fine?
The state.
DOT.
It depends on what the situation is. The DOT was who that guy referred me to call on the gray cars that you see on the road, to check with them on that. I think that's who takes care of all the, he gave me a number. And I talked to the company, he called himself the road man, took care of all the roads and stuff. He said they had permits for weight. But that thing was 95 foot long, I mean, you know.
And you couldn't even tell how long it was.
Yeah.
But when I counted the tires, I've never heard of 104 wheeler.
Did you have your shoes off when you counted it out?
Yeah, I did.
Anything else? No, I'm out.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks for the picture.
The next item on the agenda is hiring of OES Director for Floodplain Management. We'll need to go into executive session for that, so do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to get second session at 9:30.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, do we have a motion to go back into regular session?
I move we go to regular session at 9:59.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, does anybody want to make a motion or want me to?
Go ahead.
You want me to? Or you want to? Okay. I will make a motion that we hire Mr. George Idell, is that how it?
Yes, sir.
Idell, as the OES/floodplain manager on a permanent basis as a full-time employee at a salary of $40,000 per year. Did I leave anything out? The other issues that we discussed will just be part of his employment. So we have a motion to hire Mr. Idell. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, so you are hired.
Thanks very much.
Okay. All right, we will move along. There's no additional questions that's going to be recognized. The next item on the agenda is Mr. Jim Messenger, Park Manager. Once again, we will have to, well, hold on just a second. Is there something on your schedule that requires moving ahead of the the park manager, or are you okay with time?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because it's on our schedule. Mr. Jim Messenger, park manager, do we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
What time?
At
10:01.
Whenever you come
Just
out.
saying you're back when you're going to be back.
Well, we will go back into regular session.
Yeah, we're going back in regular session.
Do we have a motion?
I move we go back regular session. 9:28. 10:28, sorry.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. There's been a request for a 5-minute recess.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
There's no action taken.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, you're right, I got ahead of myself. There is no action taken on the previous executive session. We are in 5-minute recess.
Don't block that.
5-minute recess, and then we'll go back to the executive session.
Sorry.
Don't block the door.
You can pass this. Sorry, it's handwritten, but I don't have a computer out in the hallway.
That might not be too good. Okay, we're all. Beth Keller's back here again, but do we have a motion back into regular session?
So moved.
We have a motion back into regular session. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do we have a motion to be made on the Sheriff Headley personnel issue?
I'll make
Okay.
the motion that we put Ryan Thomas, his server deputy, is that correct? Process server, I'm sorry. Put him on full-time, $29,000 a year. And he receives full benefits like the rest of the deputies, correct? That's my motion.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to hire the process server full-time rather than part-time with full-time benefits. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, mapping and addressing, approved road name.
Forgot to print out the sheets I already know, so I'm gonna read off of it, I'll hand it to you.
Okay.
A private drive off County Route 28 Nutter Fork to the first drive on the left after private drive Gabriel's Way to be named Cockrell Mountain Drive.
Do we have any, there have been no objections? Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we change the name to private drive off County Road to first drive left, name Gabe's Way to be named Cockrell Mountain Drive.
We have a motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I Yes, we probably all three need to sign this.
Yeah, both of them, and then I keep one, and
Both of them.
then you stand for one, and I keep one.
Yep. That conclude?
Yep,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. Next item on the agenda is Historical Society. Is anybody here from the Historical Society? Well, we will temporarily table this until the end of the meeting, and if they don't show, then we will table it until the next meeting. Approved depository bonds.
Here's the bonds, and then I'll get the paper. I didn't know that, of course, one we just got, and I didn't know the other one. I have an order that you'll have to sign, so I'll get it while you're doing, signing invoices and stuff. Should be on the back, the amount that are being approved for. Should be people to still
There should be someplace for us to sign.
No, not on this one. I have to get an order to go with that.
Okay.
But it should be the amount that you're approving. It should be on the front, and then there should be something on the back.
I don't see anything. But, as my wife will confirm, I sometimes can't see things right in front of me.
Here it is.
Okay,
I think it's each bank.
yeah, that's, that amount. I thought when you said approved that we needed to sign somewhere.
Well, you do, but I have to do the order, and I didn't have the paperwork to do the orders.
Okay. So do we just table this until,
No, you can go ahead and approve it. I'll do up the orders while you're signing invoices today.
okay, all right. So we need to approve these depository bonds in the amount of $4 million at each bank. And they have a list of the various securities that they are pledging to guarantee that. Is that the correct terminology? To guarantee the, in case of what?
In case of a catastrophe.
Okay. Did you look at that? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the depository bonds.
We have a motion to approve the depository bonds as submitted by the Cornerstone and West Union Bank. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Next item on the agenda, copy fees for FOIA requests. Do we have any advice from our legal and/or accounting?
About the copy fees?
Yes.
I just had training at the prosecutors conference. The new FOIA statute is very clear. You cannot charge any more than it actually costs to make the copy. Someone from the Department of the Administration actually was there to present what they were doing. They calculated what it was costing their office, and it was like 1/3 of a cent per page. But with that said, they make millions of copies. You know, the Department of Administration is huge. So, you know, the bulk that they're buying, it's going to be cheaper for them. My understanding of the code is that we need to figure out exactly what it costs per page to print, and that's what you can charge the public for their FOIA requests. There were some agencies in the state that were charging a $50 minimum, and that is illegal. And so that's, the legislature kind of was like, that's not okay, you can't do that. So that's where we're at there.
Was there any discussion about using the same rate as the county clerk charges? There was no discussion.
It has to be the actual amount.
And is the opinion that it's just for material costs, or I understand the research, the point of the research, but in any business, you know that you've got someone who is physically having to take their time to make a copy.
I know that the Department of Administration calculated only what it cost them as far as paper and ink. And like if they were running a copy or whatever, those actual costs, not labor or research or anything like that.
Right.
So, I would say that if we were to be called to task on that, if we were charging, say, labor, for lack of a better word, that we would probably lose that battle. So, my recommendation would be to figure out what it costs per page, and that be the fee. With that said, I mean, it may be that it might take 3 or 4 pages before you can get to a penny. I mean, it just depends on what we're paying for ink and toner and paper and all that. So.
Okay. Is there any, County Clerk, is there any way for us to, well, I should discuss this with our administrative assistant. I'm sure that we can probably come up with an amount based on what the county pays for paper, etc.
Did it state how, was it actual time cost, or was it based on a previous year calculated cost?
It doesn't say. It's just actual cost. And so what they did was, the guy was like, hey, he called their purchasing department, and he said, I need to know how much it costs for one copy, 1 page. And it was...
Being in business, I know that depending on the type of printer,
Right.
there's a vast difference in the cost. So maybe what we can do is table this until we can get a determination of cost.
The other thing is, I mean, FOIA requests are separate from going into the clerk's office and asking for copies of documents, or going to the circuit clerk's office and asking for documents. So y'all need to be very clear that, and I need to be very clear, FOIA is not a way to get around those fees. You can't go to the clerk's office and say, you want to file a FOIA just to get around the statutory requirements, because those fees are set by statute.
Okay, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Do we have to charge for them? Being it's so little of a amount of money?
You don't. And that's what the Department of Administration, because what their cost came out to was so minuscule in the grand scheme of things, they were just like, it's not going to benefit us. So I think that that's probably what you guys need to decide, figure out how much it does cost per page, and decide whether it's beneficial to the county to even bother.
Okay, so I'm going to move that we table this once again until we can come up with a cost per copy and then make a determination from that point. All in favor? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Go ahead.
I wanted, as long as you're trying to figure out these costs and stuff, I was wondering if you would determine a cost for an electronic copy of the document where they can be scanned and emailed if a person has electronic copies, which wouldn't cost ink or paper. So I was just wondering if you would consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda, county clerk. Donate check writer to museum.
Yes, there's a check right here. It's very old, very ancient. I would like your approval to donate that to the museum. It's no further use to us, and they have indicated they would be glad to get it. If you approve that, I can have a letter written up for you to sign, and I can take it off my inventory.
Okay. Is there a limit on what we can donate, or, you know, what I'm trying to get at is you're not supposed to dispose of county equipment except through.
Who owns the museum?
Historical Society, I guess.
Hmm?
Historical Society, I guess. I know
Yep.
Janice has gone into it one time, and that's what they told her she had to do, was just write a letter and the commission approved it.
I wonder, was there ever a if the statement is made that the Historical Society owns it, I wonder if there was ever a
At least the building, and then something.
they lease the building, but they own the,
It was like $1 for a bunch of years. 99
they lease the building.
I know the statute for real property, as in like land, but as far as just like chattels and that kind of thing, I'm not sure. I'll have to look and make sure. I don't.
As far as county property goes, it's not, I know your county asset list backwards and forwards, it's not on your asset list, it's an inventory item. Any county property valued under $1,000 can be disposed of as the county sees fit. Anything over $1,000 has to be sold at public auction on parking steps.
I love Randy.
All right, so that solves that issue. Does anybody have any other discussion? Do we have a motion on that?
I'll move. I'll make the motion.
Okay, that we donate the check writer to that we authorize the county clerk to donate to the museum
Yes.
or historical society.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we have correspondence, Court Security Fund Grant Award. That's this, right? Dear Commissioner Robinson, I am pleased to inform you that the Court Security Board has approved a court security fund grant to the Doddridge County Commission in the amount of $29,770 for the purpose of enhancing the county's court security. The West Virginia Division of Justice and Community Services, the administrative agency for the Court Security Fund Grant Program, will be in contact with the project director concerning grant administration. We share a common goal of protecting our citizens and communities against the threat of crime and violence. Your participation in this project is a positive step towards achieving that goal. Please contact me if I can be of further assistance. Sincerely, Stephen D. Canterbury, Chairperson, West Virginia Court Security Board. Any questions or comments about that? Okay. All right. One additional item on the agenda, that is Antero Resources Division Order, Vonda Unit, which is Vonda Unit, wells 1H and 2H, and the decimal interest is .032521, no, I'm sorry, back up, .03232185, and that's just a shade under a fourth of the total royalty interest, which is actually between the two sets of division orders that we've signed before. The first set was .04 something. So this is not quite as much as that, but it's more than the MASH 1 and 2. Do we have any discussion? Butch? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Vonda unit.
We have a motion to approve the division orders for the Vonda 1 and the Vonda unit, wells 1H and 2H, division order, showing decimal ownership of .032322185. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I will go ahead and sign.
Is that all the wells now? All picked up?
That's all 6 of them. I don't see any old business listed under there. So, we've got payroll, exonerations, signing invoices. Whoops. Even though it's not on the agenda, I know that there's one floodplain permit that Katie called me about and said that she wanted to start the process of advertising. It technically is in the floodplain. Well, it's not technically in the floodplain. It is in the floodplain, but it was caused by some storm damage. Trees fell and they were on the edge of the stream. The root ball came up and it could start washing out. It's right here next to West Union, and all the gentleman was wanting to do was to cut the tree and get get it filled back in the way it was. Katie had called the FEMA, and she was advised by them that their recommendation would be that it be considered storm damage and approved with no fee, and it's a local resident. So that's what we're going to do. So it will be, Katie indicated that it will be published forthwith. And that's the only action we have on floodplain permits at this point in time. Okay. As I indicated, we've got, do we have any budget revision?
Yes, it's on the same one. Why did ask for the copier and the way here, his budget, he put it in a total, he forgot to put it in the line item.
Okay.
So it didn't get budgeted, so we need to move money over there so we can get that copier. We agreed to let him get.
Okay.
And the other one is, each year we have an issue with the postage for the mailing of the taxes. Part of it has to come out of one budget, and then we don't ever have enough at the end of the year to pay a full amount, and then as soon as July hits, I have to write a check. We want to get, and in this year's budget says you pay the full amount in June, so we don't have to do that in July.
Okay.
And each year the budget keeps getting budgeted wrong
Okay.
on that. So we want to fix it so that it'll show up and we'll make sure we do it right this next year.
Okay.
That's the two things.
So,
Just things they got missed in the budget process.
did you all hear the explanation?
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to approve the budget revision
I'll make a motion to approve the budget revision
as specified?
as specified.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we've got
This is cold severance. We're required by law to move the assigned fund balance over into the expenditure account, and which is for the carryover.
Okay.
And it's, I believe it's going to be $14,978 in cold severance.
Okay.
And if it needs adjusted later, we will.
Okay.
After we get the final. Right now, that's what it is.
Okay, so you've heard the explanation of the resolution to revise the coal severance fund levy estimate for Doddridge County. Do we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
We've got a motion to accept the resolution to move $14,978 from into the
new year.
Into the new year.
That was the
Transfer.
carryover.
All in agreement indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
We'll be going up to general county next.
Okay.
It has to be in center.
Okay. Now we've got these cancellation orders. They need to be
I would do them all at once.
all at once.
Yeah.
Well, I will read them.
Some of them are cancellation and some of them, maybe they all are. There's some of them are exonerations.
Okay. Do I need to list who it is or just the amount? What do you think? We have an exoneration in the amount of $2.76, another in the amount of $2.46, another in the amount of $24.62, one in the amount of $3,539.68, another in the amount of $322.50, another in the amount of $262.34, another in the amount of $150.38, another in the amount of $643.38, another in the amount of $1,313.12, another in the amount of $118.81, another in the amount of $993.26, another in the amount of $149.22, another in the amount of $147.04, and another one in the amount of $41.60, and another in the amount of $49.21. Do we have any questions or comments? And we have a motion to approve these. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Okay. Now, we don't have to, have these approved by the county commission. The confirmation of vacation orders. Yeah. All right. As far as I can determine, that's everything except the invoices. So,
Was there any correspondence?
the only correspondence was what I read at one point. Can't remember. Grant. Yeah.
Security grant.
That's all.
Courthouse security.
2 weeks.
Huh?
That's all in 2 weeks?
Yeah. But we don't read correspondence normally.
Yeah, but we were to be able to review it.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks, Mike.
Yep.